Hello everyone, it's Warrior FGC. This time around we're going to be looking at my main Ken, so we're going to have a look and see what kind of changes he's had for Season 5. Has he received buffs? Has he been nerfed? What's the situation? How is the character going? We're going to be diving a bit deeper and we're going to be taking a look, so let's go. The first change that we're going to be talking about is Ken's light kick tatsu. So what's changed? Now if Ken gets the second hit of his light kick tatsu, you saw there, Ryu floats a little bit, he stays closer to Ken. So what does that mean? It means basically that hard punch DP is guaranteed, and not only is hard punch and DP guaranteed, all 3 hits of hard punch and DP are guaranteed. So it's going to take away a little bit of anxiety from people who used to be a little bit cautious, because due to some situations, for example when you have stuff like Thunder Kick, which we're going to be looking at in just a few moments. But first we'll look at this. So this basically knocks you closer. Now there is one combo, this next one I'll be giving the credit to Mate Ice. I believe this is a new B&B combo that's been opened up due to the situation. So that's 309 damage with 0 meter. Normally you would be going for a situation where you're doing something like this, and the damage is very incremental, it's very small, but more damage is never a bad thing, so just do it. Okay, so what was I talking about when I was saying the Thunder Kick? Okay, so the changes to Thunder Kick are as follows. Previously, if you were mid-screen, your options would be this on a crouching opponent. The reason why is because when you done the light kick tatsu, there was too much knockback and you could not get a DP, so you're missing out on damage. So what's changed now in Season 5? Season 5, that second hit the tatsu floats the opponent close, which means basically everywhere on the screen you are guaranteed a full combo. So that's damage that people have been missing out for a good number of years. People just had that anxiety, they were kind of sitting there kind of thinking about it, should I try that DP? You know, is it going to whiff? It looks close enough. Now they don't need to worry about it. That has been resolved. Ken's standing hard kick crush counter has also seen a little change. This again is another buff. So what does it do? So you notice there when I'm doing the V-skill run, it's bringing Ken very close to Ryu when I'm chasing after him. So it's a lot more easier to follow up. You can now get all 3 hits of a tatsu a lot easier into EXDP. I believe in the later seasons that became a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes it became a little bit tricky, so let's test the longest range. Okay, so longer ranges. Yeah, that seems to be working. All 3 hits of the tatsu. And that's a very good buff. Simple buff, but again, it gets the job done and it works just fine. Ken's next change is with his fireballs now. His fireballs are now 2 frames faster, so what does that mean? It means they come out slightly quicker. The second thing is the block advantage. Now this is something which is also a buff for Ken. Previously, you see there, that's -6, and that used to be -8 before this patch. So what does that mean? It means it now brings it in line with how Ryu's is, so it means it's just a little bit less punishable. Now if you've got some characters like Ryu, for example, if I do it from here, Ryu can still punish me with standing medium punch, but you know, you're not really going to be looking at doing crouching medium kick fireball at that range, because you already know fireballs are punishable. But there's 2 frames less punishable, so it brings it in line with Ryu, which is a good thing. So that's 1 more buff and that's 1 more tick on the board. The next Season 5 change that we're going to be talking about is Ken's hard punch DP. It's received some slight juggle properties. So what does this mean on paper? Basically, if your opponent's quite high in the air and you land your hard punch DP, you can juggle into another hard punch DP, or you can get like an EX DP, or alternatively mild combo, which I made like a tech video on previously, where if you were in V-trigger you could get a DP into an EX tatsu. You can now do this outside of V-trigger, and let me just show you some of the options available. Okay, so we've got another triple DP, so let's just call that the warrior DP. So we've got a version of the CA, and damage might not be too good. Let's have a look. 340, okay. It's not too bad, so I'd say that's probably more of like a round ender. Like if you know you're going to finish the round with a CA, you can use something like a triple DP into a CA for the finish. These juggle properties from his hard punch DP are a big deal. I mean, if you remember one of my previous videos in the Get Good series where I showed you how to improve your corner game essentially. So if you've got your opponent cornered, and let's say for example if you're trying to throw your opponent on his wake up and your opponent just jumped instead, you would then reactively do a DP. You can now get more from that DP. Okay, so EX Tatsu is good to go. Double DP is good. Okay, so one thing you need to bear in mind is Ken's first DP needs to be a single hit for it to juggle. If you get 2 hits, it won't juggle. Basically, you're not going to get enough time to follow up on a second DP. So it needs to be a single hit, it needs to be high in the air, and get an EX DP follow up as well. If you want to go with something a little bit more flashy, so you can go for the DP cancel into an EX fireball and get some extra conversions from that. If you delay that DP, you can get a few hits of the DP before cancelling into the critical art, so this should be the max damage, I believe. The next thing that we're going to talk about is Ken's V Trigger 2, the Shin Ryuken. Now you get 4 opportunities to do a level 1, so that's the first one, second, third and fourth. So you get 4 bursts of level 1 of Shin Ryuken. So that's already a pretty decent buff. And to wrap things up with the Shin Ryuken, this is now going to be invincible to mid-air attacks from the 11th frame onwards. And the last thing is his critical art is now always considered to be on the ground, when before it was an airborne critical art. That's how the game registered it. So overall, the positive side is essentially Ken's received nothing but buffs mostly, so he's not really received any nerfs, nothing that's really going to be making him any worse than he was. He's made some improvements from the light kick tatsus to the DPs to the juggle DPs, so he's got some pretty useful things that have been put into his arsenal. Some of the things were just little fixes that needed to be done, but I would still like to see a little bit more to be done with his line breaker. Now again guys, the overall opinion is, I'd say pretty good. I'd say he's a little bit better than where he was last season, which is a good thing. No one wants to see him get nerfed. He's already been nerfed to the ground from season 2 and he's been building his way back up ever since. So this is the best he's been since season 1. So again guys, if you like the content, give us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.